40-Day Mirror, a journey through Jewish character. I'm Rabbi David Kadosh, and welcome to day number 6. Yesterday we spoke about bitachon, the deep inner calm that comes from genuinely trusting that Hashem is holding your life. Today we talk about what happens when that trust has a gap in it. Today we talk about da'aga, worry, anxiety, the mental loop that runs in the background of so many of our lives, quietly exhausting us. And let me say right away, if yesterday's episode on bitachon felt inspiring but abstract, today is its very practical companion. Because most of us don't struggle with bitachon as a theological concept. We struggle with it at 2 a.m. when we can't sleep. Da'aga, worry, is one of the most human experiences in all of Tanakh. It's not the language of weak people or faithless people. It's the language of David HaMelech, of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Hannah, standing in the Mishkan, pouring her heart out. Worry is woven into the fabric of what it means to be alive and to care about things. So the question is never, should I feel no anxiety at all? The question is, what do I do with it when it arrives? The Chavot HaLevavot, whom we quoted yesterday on bitachon, makes a distinction that I find extraordinarily useful. He separates between two kinds of worry. The first is da'aga productive, concern that leads to action. I'm worried about my health, so I go to the doctor. I'm worried about my relationship with my child, so I make time to talk. I'm worried about the wrong I committed, so I make it right. This kind of worry is not an enemy, it's a messenger. It's pointing at something real, something that needs attention, and it will quiet down once you respond to it. The second kind of what we might call da'aga circular is worry that leads to nowhere. The same thought, cycling endlessly about something you either cannot control or have already done everything about. This is the worry that sits in your chest at 3 a.m, rehearsing conversations that haven't happened, catastrophizing kind of conversations that haven't happened, and outcomes that may have never arrived, replaying decisions that cannot be undone. The second kind is not only spiritually corrosive, it's irrational. You are paying an enormous price for something that is purchasing you nothing. The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin records a remarkable teaching. Da'aga belev ish yasichena. Worry in a person's heart, let him speak it out. Rashi says, talk it through with others. Don't let it seal itself inside of you. There is something almost modern about that teaching. Talmud understood 2,000 years ago that anxiety festers in silence and loses much of its power the moment it's spoken aloud, to a friend, to a mentor, to Hashem himself in tefillah. Tefillah, in fact, is the Torah's primary description for da'aga, not because it always changes the situation, but because it changes the person in the situation. You walk into tefillah carrying that worry alone. You walk out having handed some of it over. The transfer is real. There's a story told over of the Chafetz Chaim who was once observed pacing in his room late at night, visibly agitated. A student gently knocked and asked if everything was all right. Chafetz Chaim looked at and said, I'm just worrying about something. And then I remembered I was worrying about something that happened 20 years ago that I cannot change, and something that might happen next year that hasn't happened yet. I was living everywhere except right now. He paused and then said, the Yetzer Hara is very creative. He will send you anywhere, the past, the future, as long as he keeps you out of the present. Because the present is the only place where Hashem actually meets you. That line is the entire shiur in one sentence. The present is the only place where Hashem actually meets you. Da'aga is almost always a time travel problem. We are either replaying the past or rehearsing the future. And in doing so, we vacate the only address where life and Hashem actually live. So here's today's question for the mirror. What am I currently worrying about? And is it a messenger or a loop? If it's a messenger, respond to it. Take the action it's asking for. If it's a loop, name it, speak it out, hand it over, and then come back to right now. Because right now is where you're needed. And right now, if you look carefully, is where you will find that you are not actually alone in it. This has been day 6 of the 40-Day Mirror, a journey through Jewish character. Until tomorrow.